Hello and welcome back to Strongman High's Life is a Mishmash. Today we have a very special guest. We have Georgia joining the show. Hello, Georgia. How are you?
Hi, I am a fair to middling, but yeah, all good.
Fair to middling. I haven't heard that for ages. I love that. Fair to middling.
Yeah, that's me showing my age in the first 5 seconds, right?
We don't mind that. We don't mind that. No, it's a proper solid way. So, do you want to give a little bit of an elevator pitch introduction to who you are, what you're all about to the pod?
Oh, yeah. Oh, an elevator pitch is not my favourite because I generally head down to the basement, if I'm honest, when I start talking. Um, I am Georgia Darlison, and I am a fair to middling strong woman. Who just, started to realize that I enjoyed lifting heavy things as long as I could lift as much as I possibly could for as few times as I could. So, yeah, you can get out of town with your max reps events. No, thank you. In my day job, I work for a Japanese investment bank, of all things,
Nice.
working in learning development and leadership development. So, very different worlds, but you can see
Yeah,
now why I probably like to go and lift loads of heavy stuff and take some aggression out on the world that way.
absolutely.
Um, and I probably have about 12 million hobbies. Thanks ADHD for that. But strongwoman is one that kind of sticks around regardless of what's going on. So yeah, that's me in a very
Nice.
succinct and yet waffly way.
No, that's perfect. That sounds like it sounds like a pretty intensive job as well, like Japanese investment banking learning stuff. That sounds very intense.
Yeah, do you know the biggest challenge for me has been like the difference in culture. So, having never been to Japan, I'm not familiar with any of that. So, learning kind of the ways, the nuances, and I love the fact my name has been translated into Japanese, but also I get called Georgia-san a lot.
Georgia-san.
And for anybody who remembers the Karate Kid, that's giving me vibes.
Yeah, I love that. That's absolutely mad. Do you know what though? You should definitely go to Japan because I went out there when I was younger. I was a ski instructor, so I went out there and did a 4 month like stint doing ski instructing across there. And honestly, it was the best time. I absolutely loved it. The only problem being that when my name gets changed into Japanese, which is Becca, I remember vividly sat on a bus one day and a guy was like, "Oh, what's your name?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Becca," and he went, "Becca," and I was like, "Yeah," and he went, "You do know what that means in Japanese, don't you?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "It means stupid." And I was like, "Of course it does. That fits the narrative great."
Oh, that's hilarious. I mean, to be fair, my name could be something random and nobody's really told me. They just let me crack on, carrying
Yeah.
on thinking it's all good. So, yeah,
Well, best case
that's
scenario,
hilarious.
it's not stupid, is it? So you're winning there.
Yeah, you've got that one cornered.
But yeah, I totally agree. But the culture is amazing. The only thing that I struggled with while I was out there is so on New Year's Day in Japan, it's like quite a common thing that everyone goes out and does their like decides to do a new hobby and try
Oh,
something new and like start the new year like a bit differently. So on New Year's Day, like 8 a.m. in the morning, there was always lessons booked in. Like it was like first thing there'd be people in for lessons and it would be like a full day's worth of work. Obviously, Western culture, New Year's Eve, go out and get absolutely hammered, absolutely wrecked. So like we just did all nighters all the way through until 8 o'clock in the morning, got to the lessons, and I don't even remember teaching them to be honest. Like they were back in the days where I had little to no responsibility whatsoever. So I was just hammered, just teaching people how to ski.
so there could be a few Japanese people out there going, that yeah, that year when I decided that skiing was going to be my new habit and I encountered Becca, stupid
Yeah.
Becca, then it just went very, very wrong. But
Yeah.
or you
Absolutely.
could have just inspired a load of people to be amazing, and now they're still skiing to this day.
We'll never know because I don't remember. So, but
Best way, best
yeah,
way.
it was lovely. It was very good. I struggled a little bit because I was pretty covered in tattoos by that point already. So yeah, I struggled a little bit with that because I don't like that out there very much. It's still there's
Yeah,
still a little bit of a divide with the tattoo vibe, but it was
yeah,
it was genuinely quite good. I really enjoyed it. It's where if anyone's thinking where shall I go on holiday, Japan, win,
yeah.
proper good
I
place.
the thing I remember find when I was like exploring the culture, finding a little bit kind of hard to believe is that it was still kind of late 90s, early 2000s when women were taking separate lifts or elevators to men.
Yeah.
They would go separately, and I was like, oh gosh, right, okay, that's a little bit different to how I've grown up, but yeah, it's very. I would love to go and experience the country, the culture, the people, because everybody I work with is amazing. So yeah.
Oh yeah, they're so friendly. I went to on the way back. I went to Tokyo for a couple of days, and I was just on my own. And I thought, "Ah, I'll be all right. I'll just travel around Tokyo for a bit on my own." Which, when I got to Tokyo, I realised at 18 years old was quite a big thing to be doing. I was a bit like, "Oh shit, I might have bitten off more than I can chew here," but it wasn't like that because everyone was so friendly. It's like London on steroids, but then everyone's really nice. Like, I remember getting to the train station and I just wanted to go to the zoo, and this like Japanese woman came up to me and she's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I'm trying to get to the zoo, but like all the signs are in Japanese. I can't buy a train ticket." And she was just like, "Oh, I'll help you." So like bought me my train ticket, paid for it, which I was like, "No, no, it's fine, I'll pay for it." She was like, "No, no," paid for it, put me on the train, and then waved at me on the platform, just a complete stranger, and I'm just sat on the train like, "Bye." Like, it was mental, absolutely mental, but so nice. I'd love to go back. I'd love to go back and hang out, but
Yeah.
maybe one day. Maybe one day. But anyway, we got real off track there immediately, and I just started talking about myself. Sorry about that, Georgia.
No, I love it. I love to hear what everyone's got going on, and it's nice when you can connect and you've got something in common. I love, like, when you hear those experiences and you're like, yeah, well, this is my experience. Let's share and keep sharing, guys.
Hell yeah! Point of the podcast, right? Well, let's get back to you then. So we'll start at the beginning. What has been your strongwoman high, Georgia?
Well, as somebody with very limited metalware to my name, I am not going to be like your previous guests and
I
say
don't
so
mind
and
that.
so event or so and so event. But saying that, I did just come third at Hampshire, so I'm very proud of that.
Hell yeah!
It's quite a social gathering, Hampshire. It was a
It's a
lot of
big
fun.
comp. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was really, really, really well run. We had great weather on the day as well, which made it really nice. But yeah, that was good. But I think my strong woman high is it's a weird one to explain. But you know that feeling of when you're underestimated by people. As women, we probably face that quite a lot, and it's that moment when someone realizes just exactly what you're capable of, and it's like, oh, I didn't expect that from you. And I think that kind of gives me a little buzz every time, which is a bit cheeky, but I also get that buzz on behalf of the people when I see, like when you see some comps and they set like really ridiculous weights and everyone's like, oh yeah, that's going to be really hard for everybody, and then the women turn up and absolutely boss it, and I'm like, yeah, well, you underestimated them, not me,
Yeah.
but you underestimated them, and I love that feeling. Even when they like the Asda man turns up at the door and he's like, oh, it's heavy, I'm like, watch me.
Yeah.
And then like I had a really hard training session the night before, and I'm like, hobbling away, like, oh, okay, yeah, it's a little bit heavier than I thought, but yeah, still got it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love that, and I totally agree with you. And I think that your mindset changes. We've spoke about this a few times on the podcast, and I think it's to do very much with your confidence as well, isn't it? Like if you know in the gym that you can lift those certain weights, and you feel like absolutely like hardcore because you're like, fuck yeah, I'm strong as fuck. It goes into a day to day life, doesn't it? And then when people
Yeah.
underestimate your day to day life, they're like, fuck off. I probably deadlift more than you, like dickhead.
I mean, that is a narrative that is always like running through my head. It's like, I could squat you, or I could deadlift you, or I could push you over my head. Um,
Yeah.
deal with it, and then you realize you're just saying it to yourself, but it still gives you that little bit of a pump inside, and you go, "Yeah, I got this." But yeah, stuff like that, I just think it gives you that confidence, and oh god, the amount of times I have to do like silly ass icebreakers or like nonsense. Oh, let's get to know each other, and it's like, oh, tell me two truths and a lie, and nobody ever goes for that one. Or like when you say what your interests are, and it's like, oh yeah, I like cooking, and also I like lifting really heavy shit, and I've lifted a
Yeah.
car before, deal with it. But yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. It's the confidence it brings, and I think especially for a lot of women where we've been brought up sort of not not being pushed to be that confident, not being
Yeah.
pushed to be that out there and take up all that space. That when you do suddenly get into that, like, and it only really takes like fucking hell. I was maybe lifting for about 3 months and I was already there. I was like, fucking hell, don't talk to me, like, thinking I was absolutely massive. But yeah, it's funny how your mindset just shifts and it changes every part of your life, not just being in the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I remember, so I first got into strongwoman when oh God, I was doing all sorts of like exercise classes and different bits and bobs, and um, I remember, I invested some time in, the outdoor rolling around in the mud boot camp type
Oh,
things.
yeah, like, oh, what's it called? Total
Like,
Warrior, stuff like that.
yeah, and like, I'm all for like well, I'm not for a mud run because I don't run for fun, I'll be honest. But like people that do that, I'm so in awe of them. But I'm thinking like military style boot camps where you're in a local park and you're rolling around in some shitty mud. I spent my time doing that, and I connected with one of the guys, and I said to him, "I'm thinking about having some PTs." He said, "Oh yeah, yeah, let's look at that." So I started PTing with him, and he was doing it out of his little garage in his like where we was living and stuff. And I turned up this one day and he was doing a session and just finishing, and he said, "Oh, pass me that bar." So I picked the bar up and passed it to him because he was down to do some bench, and there was 70 kilos on it. And he went, "Oh, I didn't expect you to be able to pick that up." And I was like, "Well, you said pick it up, so I picked it up." I just couldn't comprehend that he didn't think I would have been able to have done it, and he was doing it because he thought it would have been funny when I was like, "Oh, that's really heavy."
Yeah.
And then at that point, he was like, "I'm going to see how far we can push you," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, let's give it a go." And that's how that started.
I love
Um,
that.
yeah, but it was all that kind of me. Well, wasn't trying to prove him wrong. I just proved him wrong without realizing. But then from that point, I was like, well, it kind of stuck in my head. Oh, you think I can't do this, so I'm going to do it. And
Yeah.
was that inspiration to push a bit harder.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Just being pushed into doing something as well like that, I think is the way forward sometimes. And I think as well, like it's nice that instead of having like a massive ego death about that, he was like, "Oh yeah, like let's go full send now." Like as if
Yeah,
you didn't find that heavy. Let's fucking go. Because it would have been easy to be out his ass a bit about that and be like,
yeah,
"Yeah, strong lady." But
yeah,
luckily he didn't. Well,
yeah.
how
No,
long?
it was good. Sorry.
No, you're all right. How long ago was that?
Oh God, I would have been early 30s, so about 13, 14 years ago.
Oh wow! So you've been training and lifting a while then.
Yeah, yeah, and but never really. I only did up until 2 years ago. I only did one competition, and I did that in 2019, and it was Suffolk's Strongest. Um, and the whole time I was just an absolute bag of nerves. But it was for me. I enjoyed like training towards it,
Yeah.
and then like when it was on the day, it was a bit of a weird one. But I've always been like that because I grew up doing kickboxing and kung fu. And when it came to like having a scrap at the end of the class, I would always be like, "Oh, I don't want to scrap. I don't really want to have a go at that." And then I get up there and I do really well. And I ended up going into like full contact fighting. I think that's where a bit of my power and strength comes from. But I
Nice.
was like, I don't want to. Oh no, I don't want to have to get up and like smack people in front of others. And so I kind of, yeah, it's the pressure of the all eyes on me. I think was a bit weird for me.
Yeah,
Mm.
fair, yeah, fair. I love that as well that you've come from like martial arts background too. What they're just class. I love finding this stuff out about people. What do you think increased your confidence more then? Do you think it's been the lifting or do you think it's the like martial arts stuff? What did you find was better for your confidence?
Hmm. Well, the martial arts helped me fend off prowlers when I got into a taxi that wasn't a taxi. That whole kind of
No
nonsense.
way. Have you actually had to
Yeah.
use it in real life?
Oh, yeah, quite a few times. But
Tell
I'm in the Midlands, so that's just the way we roll up here.
we need to hear about this. Tell us some of these stories. This sounds fucking great.
Oh, well, the taxi that wasn't really a taxi was, funnily enough, it was on like they have these like award nights, these presentation nights around Christmas in Kung Fu. And so I went along, and I won Student of the Year, and I was like, yeah. So I got this trophy, and I was like, yeah, look how great I am. Absolutely smashed out my eyeballs. Walked out of the place, got into a taxi to go home, and he started taking me like in a really weird direction, and I was like, no, I think we're going the wrong way. So the whole time I've been like jibber jabbering, like, because I was drunk, and that's just how I come across when I'm very pissed up. So I was like blah 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 blah, blah. And I was like, we're going the wrong way, and he was like, don't you worry about it. And then I was like, I've got a trophy. I was like, I've got a trophy because I'm the hardest, baddest bitch in the world. And I was like saying all this like really random shit. I was only would have been late teens, early 20s at the most. I can't remember the exact age, but it was so I'm going, do you know what? I could probably put you on the floor with like two fingers. And I was giving it all this. And I was like, I'm so hardcore, like I'm a real hardcore bitch. And like I even know how to use like weapons and I was just saying all this
Class.
stuff. He just did nothing other than like emergency stop, like in the middle of the road, didn't even pull over to the curb. And he was like, get out. And I was like, sorry, what? He was like, get out. I was like, well, I'm paying you. You need to take me where I want to go. So he leant over, and I was like, oh, it's creepy. But he leant over, opened the door, pushed it open, and went, get the fuck out. And I went, I'm paying you. And he went, I'm not a fucking taxi. Piss off. And at that
No.
moment, at that moment, I was like, oh, so I'm not good enough for you then. And I was like,
Literally
just get out.
talked yourself out of being kidnapped. You thought, this ain't
Oh,
worth the hassle, this. Fuck this. I'm going to get
I
on
mean,
this taxi and she's going to fight me and I cannot be arsed.
I think it was more to do with the fact that I was talking him to death rather than anything else. Full of my own self-importance, because that's just the way I was rolling. So yeah, it's funny that I think, to go back to the question, what's given me more confidence? I've been doing theatre, and I've actually got my own charity, which is a theatre company as well, which I set up a few years ago. But I've been doing that since I was 11, and that's what's given me the confidence. And it's funny because that's what I use, as silly as it sounds, in Strong Woman to get through a competition. Is I become a persona, or I become a person. I'm just like, right, this is who I'm going to be, and if I can like draw on that, then that gives me the confidence. But sometimes if I'm feeling vulnerable, I'll go up there and I'm only me. That's when I struggle, or I don't feel the confidence, or I'm like, oh god, like I don't, who am I like to be up here thinking that I'm good. So yeah, I kind of have to draw from that to give me the confidence to do it. But it's funny because I realize I don't actually like competing. um I tried putting myself through it. But it's not, there's been a few times where everyone's like, I'm getting all nervous, and the community is amazing, and everyone who comes on your podcast says that, and I know that, like, you know I feel it so much at competitions, and I think that's what I like. And then when I go there and everybody's like, oh, I remember why you do this, you love it really, and I'm like, no, 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 I don't. I don't actually. And I think
Yeah.
all it is, I actually go to competitions. I think there's a part of me trying to desensitize myself to it so I can do it more and enjoy it and be happy. But the reality is, like, it's because the rule follower in me, my TISM, says to me I need to follow the rules. And the rules are that I've been doing a training program to achieve a certain set of events. So it's like, well, I've followed the rules and I've done my program. Now I've got to follow the rules and do the event, and then see how I can do. And that's actually the momentum that gets me through competition, nothing else.
So don't actually enjoy it. It's very fair though, that, and I think it's a valid point, because we haven't really spoke about this on the podcast a lot, is because I think a lot of the people that come on the podcast, they either absolutely, well, most of them really love competing, like, and
Yeah,
that's the whole goal, is to do those competitions. But sometimes just the training is fucking enough, and it's fun and it's enjoyable. And even if you do train for a comp that you have no intention of ever going to, it still gives you that like purpose of doing
yeah.
something, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Like, the reason I do Strong Woman is because I like to lift as fewer times as possible, as heavy as possible, so I can get it done. There's a lazy element in there to some extent. So if I'm not working towards something, my body goes, what's the easiest way to cheat this? Or, how can I get around this? And it's like, it's not my head that's doing it, because I enjoy exercise and I feel great after it, but I'm somehow hardwired to go, what's the easiest way? And it's like, okay, what is the easiest way? Well, if I've got a competition, there's no easy way. I've just got to power through and do it, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I totally understand that. Like, because I do love competing. It's like my favorite fucking thing. I feel like, but I just love being out there. Like, there is a part of me that hates like everyone watching me, and I'm very bad at, especially if I'm doing lifts in the gym, like big PR lifts in the gym. If there's a group of people stood around looking at me shouting, guarantee 100% of the time I will fail it, like every single time. Whereas if I'm on my own and there's just a few people milling about, probably get it. Like, because
yeah,
I don't need the pressure, and that's something I've found myself. I don't need the pressure. I can do it. I can do it on comp days. I'm never as good as I am in the gym though, because I don't enjoy that. Like everyone staring at me and pushing me to do something that doesn't make me work any better. But I think
yeah.
as well, like you said, you've got to find these things out for yourself, haven't you? Does this tie into Strong Woman Low, by the way?
No.
Perfect. We'll keep talking about this then. No, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, I do find it really, really interesting. So what are your plans moving forward then? Have you got plans to compete again or not really?
Yeah. Yeah, no, so I do a local league called Here Come the Girls because I trained with AR Fitness. So Ash, I think you know him anyway.
Yeah,
And Hannah Fitzgerald, who's amazing, just insane.
yeah,
And then there's a Bud Fitness as well that do it. And so last year I did it, this year I'm doing it, and I've been having fun at that actually. So it's been more about the community. I kind of almost see it more of a training day, and that's not to take anything away from the competition, but what I mean is I don't give myself the same pressure.
yeah,
And I actually, once the first event was out of the way at Hampshire's, really bloody enjoyed that because there was an amazing group of people there and the day was set up to be a lot of fun. So I think the future for me is going to be less about the what I would consider to be the high pressure stuff, which is where it's like, oh, I'm going to go and I don't even know if I'm going to hit that number or not. Or if I stand a chance. So, like they've obviously just announced the natural strong woman, natural strong man
yeah,
stuff. I did Four Nations last year. I came third at Four Nations last year and thoroughly enjoyed it. But even that in itself was an absolute bloody schooling moment because me and the wonderful Katie Abbott came second, joint second. So we had a little look at countback and we equaled at countback.
oh,
So I had to do a goddamn tie break. I was like, oh,
oh,
for fuck's sake. And me and my little teeny tiny bitch mitts with my early onset arthritis had to do a bloody farmer's hold. But because we'd just done stones over yoke, we'd all been tackied up. I'd baby oiled myself off. So they were like, oh,
oh,
you can
worst.
have, I know, yeah, you can have straps on. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I was like, well, then it's just mind over matter. Oh, it was not. My mind had checked out. So it was like,
That
well, I've
was
done all my
done.
events now. Oh yeah, and I was like holding on, thinking I just got to keep holding on. And I was like, oh no, dropped it.
CBA done now.
Yeah, a bit. Katie was amazing. She was phenomenal. And Bridget Rowley won the category and then got her pass to UK and Ireland this year. So it
Yeah,
was good. It was the first time that they'd done it. I had a whale of a time, but I think that kind of pressure for me is probably not the way to go. Certainly not right now. And maybe once me perimenopause has settled down a little bit and I'm not so up in the air, maybe I'll reconsider it.
yeah, 100%. And I totally like. I think I think it's really good to talk about as well. That like the reason that you don't like competing is the massive amount of pressure that like gets put onto those competitions because it doesn't make it enjoyable sometimes. And I think unless you're that personality type that thrives on those environments, then you're probably not going to like enjoy competing at least for the first few years. I think it's super important for people to remember like at the end of the day, this is a hobby and we're only
Yeah.
doing it to enjoy ourselves. So if by competing you're not enjoying yourself, don't fucking do it. Like, just enjoy the bits and do the bits you want to do.
Well, when I did the Four Nations, I went up. My partner came up with me, and we had a little break in Edinburgh, and we when I did the competing, and we'd got like a couple of days left because we'd had a few days before, and he went, um, perhaps you might want to consider like not competing in future. And I went, why? And he went, because you're an absolute fucking bitch. And I was like, oh, sorry.
Same.
I'm just dealing with a load of feelings right now.
Yeah, it's really tricky, isn't it? It's super tricky. But I love that you've just you've realised that about yourself and gone, right, this is what I'm going to do now instead, and that works fucking great.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, just keep my hand in, keep going to these. I mean, I'll be there and I'll be the biggest cheerleader. In fact, actually, I'll be probably the noisiest cheerleader because I've got a bit of a reputation as being one loud ass motherfucker when it comes to cheering everybody else on. And like, I turn into some kind of like weird gremlin, and I'm like, "Come on!" And I'm like, "Who is that?"
Yeah, same. Honestly, when I listen back to myself in videos when I'm like supporting people, I just think I can't listen to this with sound. It's atrocious. What the fuck am I even saying?
Yeah, who am I? Who is this? Who am I? Who have I
Mm,
become?
just turn into someone else, don't you? Get too hyped, too excited about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Class. Right, well, let's move on then and ruin the good mood. Let's talk about your strong woman low.
Do you know what? You're going to ruin the mood because it's just hilarious. So my strong woman low is I decided I can't stop laughing now. I was going to do the OSG Europe's online qualifier. And you know what? I did a log and I was so chuffed. I got a log PB. I managed to sling over 70 over my head, and I was well impressed with that, which, was really great for me. I did my deadlifts, and then it got to the sandbag, and it was only an 80-kilo sandbag. And I got schooled by a fucking sandbag. Absolutely humbled. Like, it took the piss out of me, next level. Picked it up, managed to do one length, then just kind of watching the video back is frightening because it just then kind of like sunk down me, and as it was sinking down me to the floor, like you could see my soul leaving my body, and I was like, oh. So yeah, so I still submitted it because Ash, bless him, had put a lot of time and effort into me. So I thought, oh, I don't want to let him down. So I submitted it, and I like looked back and I looked at everyone else's, and I was like, what the fuck am I even doing? He was like, oh, come back into the gym, we'll give it another go. You'll do much better. And I was like, oh yeah, yeah, okay. And then we got to the Friday when it was the last day for submissions, and I said to Ash, been thinking. On reflection, if I can't do at least, more than two bloody lengths with this 80-kilo sandbag, I ain't got no business thinking I could be at OSG Europe's. And I just left it there. But do you know what the problem was? And I think this is what makes it a low, is that over the last year, I've lost 30 kilos.
Wow.
So for me, that was, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting so much quicker in this, that, and the other. And what I realized is that when I was bigger, because I was a bit girthy, I did not have the lap availability to lap a sandbag. So I would have to one motion it. So what I realized is that my technique was absolutely fucked for the size I was then. And I kind of almost had to relearn a lot of the same things, having lost that weight, like where my center of gravity is,
Yeah.
because I'm very different now. And, but the sandbags, like the sandbag for me was always like, I don't know, like trying to get an elephant to perch on the outer ledge of a skyscraper. Like that was me trying to get a sandbag on my lap. There was no room for it. Like it could get 1 foot on, no more.
Yeah.
So like it was always just like one motion, the bastard, and it was like get it up. But yeah, I couldn't do that. So that was a low.
Yeah.
And it was what was low about it was humbling. I had that kind of realization of, oh well, I'm not as strong as Ash clearly thinks I am. But then my partner had just started training. He's, never trained a day in his life. Oh no, he did, sorry. He had one of those plastic little barbells that you have when you're a spotty teenager and
Oh yeah.
14 in your bedroom. That's the only thing he's ever done. So he started training, and he was in the gym, and he said that was really upsetting to see. And I went, why? And he was like, you were really hard on yourself. Like, he said, not like in front of, like, you weren't, he said, but I could tell you were like proper beating yourself up about it. And I was like, I was. And I don't know, like, why I was being so hard on myself. I can't do it. That's fine. My body's changed. I haven't really looked at trying to change my technique or what I'm doing. So it kind of, it was expected, but I was so hard on myself. So that was a low, purely because it was just laughable. And then secondly, because I had that realization of like, why am I being so hard? And that was probably when I cemented that I don't think I really like competitions because I was like, even if I did qualify, if I scraped into the top 10, would I actually enjoy being there on that big stage in front of everybody going, oh, well, I might zero this. Let's see what happens.
Yeah,
Nah, it's not my idea of fun. But like I say, this is maybe a goal. Might, it could change. Things could be different. But right now, that's
100%.
where it was. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's super important as well. One, like sometimes you can be hard on yourself, and I think like there's that middle ground of where there's a level of being hard on yourself that you have to do. Like, and if you don't do that, you don't get fucking anywhere anyway.
yeah,
But like taking into account everything that's come before that as well, also super important. Like you're aware you lost a lot of weight. All your technique is changed. You probably lost a little bit of strength with that weight as well. So weights that you would have usually been like piece of piss, not so much anymore. And that's just
mm,
like a steady incline to build back up to those things, isn't it? But I totally understand, like with the enjoyment of it, because for me, Europe's has always been a competition where if I'm going for a job. I'm going to get that podium. I don't go to Europe's anymore just to like have a bit of fun. Because for me, that's not a fun competition. It's
yeah,
really high pressure. It's really high stress. Everyone's watching you. Everyone's expectant of you. And so for me, it's not fun, which is why I didn't do it this year. Like, obviously, I have like niggles, injuries, loads of stuff going on. But for
mm,
me, I thought, well, if I go to that comp not knowing that I am not at 100% and I am not going to be able to do what I know I'm capable of doing, I'm
mm,
going to fucking hate that competition. I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm going to come away and think I shouldn't have done that. I'll probably end up pulling out halfway through, which I did at Natty Worlds like last year. So I think, why would you put yourself through it? Just don't. Just don't
yeah.
fucking do it. Like, take a step back and have a minute. And honestly, dropping out of Europe was the best decision I made all year, I think.
I love it.
So
Take that, you dirty sandbag.
exactly. Fuck it. But I think it's super important for people to remember that at the end of the day, it's a fucking hobby. Like, if you're not enjoying it and it's not going well, step back, reassess, think
Yeah,
again, and make a better decision so that you do enjoy it. Because as well, that's the longevity side of it. If you're not enjoying it with it, like after a couple of years, you're not going to be in here for another 3, 4, 5 years. Like, and I want to be in this sport forever because I love the community.
yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be, doddering around on the sidelines, turning into that gremlin, screeching at everybody, like, and everybody be like, "Who's that old lady?" I'm just going to be loving it.
Me too.
But I know, and then I'll go, "Oh, I remember the days when I could pick up a plate and it would be all good."
Absolutely, yeah. That'll be us in the corner, just like remember the days I used to be able to bench 70 kilos too. I can't even
Or
bench
you'll be
70 kilos.
guest judging, and you'll be like, Down."
My rotator cuff is non-existent anymore. I'll have to just shout it. Yeah, those will
Oh,
be the
that's funny.
days. Those will
Yeah.
be the days. No, I love that.
George, you want to hear something controversial?
Always.
Well, it's more it might be controversial. I don't think anyone's talked about it on the pod, but I alluded to having lost weight. I'm one of the weight loss injection women.
Ooh, are you?
Yeah,
Interesting. Wow. So tell us
yeah.
about that then. Tell us about that.
So, well, the thing is, I've not been very vocal about it, and I think that's because it's very judgy. From a lot of people, and everybody's kind of saying, oh, you lose all your muscle mass and your bone density and this, that, and the other. But I wanted to talk about it. I thought, let me see if I can squeeze a way to get it in, because you know what, there are safe ways to do it and there are sensible ways to do it. So for me, I lost 30 kilos over the course of a year. So it was never really more than half a kilo a week. It wasn't like rapid weight loss in one go. And the idea behind it was actually to just, I've got to a point where willpower, it just wasn't with me. Motivation was there, but just wasn't enough. I'm a good cook and I make a lot of food and stuff, but for whatever reason, I'd go for hours at a time without eating, and then I'd binge, or there would be like a really unhealthy relationship with food. And I thought,
Yeah.
you know what I want to do? I'm putting all this effort into becoming strong and like looking after myself that way. I want to see if if there's other ways of doing this, and it completely changed my brain power and the way that it's working. And I'm in a place, and I can't speak about what happens after, because I'm in a place where I'm titrating down and I'm coming off because they've just fucking massively increased the price of it.
Yeah,
And I'm not where I want to be weight wise, but I think there's probably a chance that I could do that in a different way now than what I could have done before. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But for me, like, I carried on throughout that whole time, competing, getting PBs, still training well, training hard, and doing all those things. And have not seen any of those kind of side effects which are around that kind of, or losing your strength or any of those things. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride for sure.
yeah.
um and I don't think I would have been able to have done it without it. But yeah, it's I think there are probably people listening to this who are either have done it or thought about it or have a certain view, and I just kind of wanted to put my two pence in and say, like, there are sensible ways to do this, and it's not just about cheating. There are some people who are genetically made to struggle,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Absolutely, no, I totally agree. And I think with weight loss, it's always difficult because there's always going to be like two sides of the fence, isn't there? There's always going to be people who hate it and people who fucking love it. Like it's just how
Yeah,
it goes. And I think the beauty of this is you find things that work for you, and if that works for you and you can do it in a sensible and safe way, then what's the problem with that? What's the
yeah,
problem? Because it doesn't make
yeah,
sense to me. And I think as well, like especially in the UK, well, in the world, to be honest, we've got an obesity epidemic. Like this, it's a genuine problem now, like, and it's causing so much strain. Like the NHS is under a lot of strain, and one of those main causes is obesity. Like,
yeah,
and that's not me fat shaming, that's just fucking fact, unfortunately. So why don't we make effort to make it easier for people? And if these weight loss injections are available and they do work and they can be used safely, why are people demonizing them? Like, let's in fact educate people on how to use them safely and help people.
yeah. The whole kind of, there is, I recognize that there's this, because it's available to buy privately. There's a whole community that's misusing it, and I completely get that. I can't speak for that or talk to that. All I can talk to is those people who, like me, were sitting there a year ago, desperate to, be able to go to sleep at night without waking up in the morning with dead arms, because they're, just can't sleep in a comfortable way, or, you know, even just like walking around, I don't know, a National Trust place, because I'm old, so I love that. Would just, I'd have to take a little carry bag, like a carry case with a seat in, just so in case like I needed to stop and have a sit down. And it's like, I do strong woman training, and I'm here carrying a seat, because if
Yeah.
I'm walking too far, I'm going to have a little sit down. It's ridiculous. I'm like, yeah, but I'm carrying my chair. It's all right because I'm carrying
Yeah.
my chair, but the
Yeah.
walking,
But what
no.
am I, 80? Yeah, like, fuck, I shouldn't be having to do this.
Yeah, yeah. So it's that, I think was my kind of overriding factor, and yeah, controversial. Putting controversy on the
Controversial.
pod.
We love it. We absolutely love it. Now, it's one of them things because I don't really know a lot about it. Like I don't know anything about it, like weight loss injections. But obviously, you
Mm,
see loads and loads of stuff on social media. But I think
yeah,
it's really good to speak to people who've had really good experiences with it. Like obviously, if someone's listening to this and have had a shit experience, then
yeah,
hit me up. Like let's talk about it.
yeah,
But I think it's really good to see both sides of the story. And I think the way that you've clearly done it is very sensible and it's worked great. And it's not like you're going to be on it forever either. You're trying to come off it now. So
yeah,
it's been used as a tool, which I think is what it was always meant to be. It was always meant to be created as a tool, not
yeah.
a completely different way and like let's just use this forever and wreck everything in our bodies. Like because that's not what like any of these medications are for, like realistically, are there?
Yeah, no, this is it. I think one of the I've been doing, because I did a lot of research. The TISM makes me research, and for a year before this, I went on to. I thought I was going on to a particular injection, and I was waiting for it to become available. And then when that became available, another one became available. So I then had to pause and do all the research onto that one, find out what the best one was and stuff. But I've, since I continue to like keep up with the research, and actually what they're looking at is ways to use it for addiction, which I think is
No.
really interesting, because that's what I've noticed. Like, some of the habits and some of the things that I would do were addiction-based behavior, and it's kind of stopped some of that. And I think, you know what, I don't know enough about. I've researched, but I don't know enough about what they're doing with it and what the plans are. But if they can do something for, you know, people who have those challenges, like, amazing. That would be such a um, well, phenomenal, like, you know, for so many people who've got so many different challenges and struggles. But, you know, we'll
100%.
see what happens. But I thought that was particularly interesting anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I love stuff. I'll have to. I'll write a little note about that and have a look at that later because I like stuff like that. Anything that'll stop me with this fucking nicotine addiction. Fuck
Oh,
it. That'll
yeah.
sign me up, boys. Fuck me. That's got me for the majority of my life at this point, but we'll get there eventually. Right. Well, let's move on then. So, what's the final question of the podcast? Well, apart from the final question, what would you say to yourself when you first started the sport?
Oh, well, it's not too deep, but stop rolling around in the mud. It's not going to achieve anything. Don't dick ass around with that nonsense. Just get yourself in the gym and lift weights. Stop doing that. Oh, and also, you know, regardless of how hard you try, you're never going to achieve a pull up because you're just not built that way. Oh, mate, I tried years to get a pull up, and that was not
No,
happening. I even
yeah.
joined a gym that was a calisthenics gym, like street workout, and they're like, I'm doing something. I'm skinning the cat, which sounds gross, but it's a movement. And I was like, oh, I can do this. Yeah, my pull ups just in reach, even at my peak, which I'm far beyond now at this age. But even at my peak, there was no way I'd got a pull up inside me. So I'd
I'm
just
not
probably say,
buying this.
don't waste all that time. Just move
No,
on, pop it.
I'm not buying this. I'm not buying.
Really?
Everyone can do a pull up. I'm not fucking buying this. Who coaches you? Is it Ash?
Actually, yeah.
I'm literally going to message him after this and be like, so I've been speaking to Georgia and she's told me she really wants to do a pull up.
Well, do you know, I said, oh, that's funny that you'll say that because about 2 months ago, I said to him, just so you know, coach, cheeky little side hustle for next year. I think I might retry the pull up again. And he went, mm. I was like, oh, come on, let's give it a go. And he was like, I was like, I'm lighter now. He's like, ah.
I feel like writing you a program and sending you on just say I'm just a specific, like, you know, Josh does like the specific lift coaching. I'll just do specific pull up coaching.
Yeah.
So everyone can hit a pull up. I genuinely believe everyone can do it. It just
Do
takes a bit of
ya?
time, yeah. And saying that,
Oh,
I don't even know if I can do one at the moment, but I'm gonna go to the gym this afternoon, so I'll try.
yeah. And
Give
if
it a
you
go.
send me a video going, this is how you do it, bitch, I'll be like,
Well, it
fuming.
means that if I can do it, I've done pull-ups before. I've definitely done them. I think my best ever is 3, so I'm not like good at them. But like, and 3 by like spinning my legs wildly below me. But yeah, I genuinely believe everyone can do a pull-up. So I'm not taking that advice. Everyone
I'm
can
a
do
I'm
it.
a two band kind of girl all the way. I've got to get 2 bands around my feet in order to even get up there.
That's all right. That's the starting point. It doesn't matter. We can progress from there. See,
Oh yeah,
Ash is getting a
you
message
got
after
this.
this. Like,
You're
it's
joining my side quest now for
absolutely, yeah. We should
pull
do
up
it.
for Georgia.
We should do like a strong woman highs pull up challenge. That would be such a good idea. Oh, do you know what? My little idea brain's already working. I'm
I
thinking,
love it.
ooh, this planet's
Inspiration.
a bit
That is
easier.
another competition I will sit out of.
No, 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 no. I think there might be something here. You know, I'll just write another note. This has been a
You
very
write that
insightful
down.
podcast for me.
Good.
Pull up championships. Because it's a big
Oh,
thing with women as well, isn't it? Like
yeah.
that, you always get that reel that circulates around. That's like, on average, the average woman can do 0 pull-ups or something. And every time I see it, it just fucks me off because I just think, oh, of all the things, who fucking cares? Like, I don't really care about pull-ups that much, but it annoys me that you think that like, majority of women can't do them. Fuck off.
I always remember as well, like I'd be like, oh, I'm trying to do a pull up, and some bloke would go, oh yeah, I can do a pull up, and he turns his fist
Oh,
round, and
for a
I'm like,
chin
I
up.
think you'll find that's a fucking chin up, mate.
Pussy.
Yeah. Like,
Absolute
come back to
pussy.
me when you can do an actual pull up,
Everyone can
and
do a chin up. Fuck
ooh.
off.
Yeah, still not me. I'm still not chinning up. If anything, I'm smacking my chin off a bar as I try to like get up there and just flail around. But yeah, yes, but it's funny when stuff do that. And then you've got the amazing idiots that just muscle up, and you're like, oh
Oh
God,
god, there's calisthenics people. I saw someone the other day. Actually, there was a woman doing some pull-ups. I'll send you the video. Actually, it's fucking unbelievable.
oh, I
She
love
looks
it.
insane, but she does 10 fingers to 0 finger pull-ups. So like the second last one, she just does pull-ups with her middle finger, which I think's hilarious. And then on the last one, she just puts her wrists over the bar. She hasn't got fingers on it and does a pull-up with it, and it's insane. It's like a V-sit pull-up as well. It's so fucking cool. But you know when you're looking, you're just like. That's the
Yeah,
goal, that.
yeah.
That's the goal, but I just don't have enough motivation or care in the world to do it.
Yeah. I mean, just a grindy out is my goal, like just getting there. But I was just hard work, and I was putting the hard work in and seeing other stuff improve. Like that, I think that's part of the reason why I've got such a good overhead now is because of all the shoulder work. Engage your scapula. I'm like, it's fucking engaged and it's not doing anything. I
Yeah.
think it needs to be married before it lets you into its bed. Stop it. Like, it's like, oh God. But yeah. I've
We'll get there.
definitely got it as a side quest still, but I've just said that's the advice I would have given myself. I feel like I should be taking that advice right now, but it's still going,
Well, no,
no, maybe you can.
we're forgetting that advice. Put that advice can go in the fucking bin. Bin. We'll like the advice of. We'll take the advice of if you don't like competing, then maybe just take a step back from it. We'll leave on that advice. But yeah, the pull up
Yes.
advice, fucking bin. We're all doing pull ups this year. 2026 is going to be the year of the pull ups.
Yeah.
I've got this. We'll
Oh,
sort this.
good.
Don't you worry. Right, let's move on to the final part of the podcast then, because I've kept you for ages. So
That's right.
we'll move on to the silly goose.
Silly goose. Ha ha. It's silly goose time, where our lips get loose and our minds run free. Silly goose. Ha ha. It's silly goose time, where we chat a load of shit that's of absolutely no use. It's silly goose time. Ha ha.
First off, do you have a silly goose you'd like to bring to the table?
I mean, I tried not to think about this because my brain is so screwed up, right? It literally went when it was like, oh, I could ask my own silly goose. I was like, oh, right. Would you rather smack Donald Trump around the face with a wet fish 3 times, or pull Vladimir Putin's jumper over his head and punch him in the stomach 5 times? And I was like, I can't ask that. Like, who am I? I don't even like politics. Why am I bringing world politics to the table? And then it was like, right, okay, well, I'll tell you what then. And I was like, what do I think on a regular basis? And I tend to find if I'm doing an event, sometimes I like, if I'm training, like when I was training sandbags, I'm like, what animal would be the best in the world at doing the sandbags? Or, I'm doing the log, like who would an elephant like win at doing the log? And that's the kind of shit my brain comes up with. So I might just be better off letting you pose the silly goose questions.
No, I think you've got something with this silly goose. My silly goose question isn't that good, so we're going to ignore that one because I already know what you're. My silly goose was what language would you like to be fluent in, and I'm going to assume it's Japanese. So like, fuck that one off. We already know the answer. Wallet. Right, we'll do your silly goose instead. So no, I do like this because me and Emma had this discussion because I was asking her whether she'd like to be part horse or
Ah,
part
yes.
dog as a centaur.
Yeah.
And she chose horse because she reckoned she could still do all of the strongman events with it. But I'm not too skeptical. I'm not sure about that. But
Oh,
I
she's got a long way
wonder
to pull that deadlift.
exactly what I thought. However, if you did obviously have the bend at your like waist, you would be able to get all the way down. I'm guessing, but it wouldn't be like a normal deadlift. It would be like a deficit deadlift, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And how much involvement are you going to get out of those little horsey legs? Probably not a lot.
You'd be better off being a camel because they like weirdly roll to the side, don't they? And you might just be able to like do like a Turkish get up with it and like get up as you bring the
Yeah.
bar with you as you get up, maybe. I don't know.
But I wonder what would be the best animal ever. They reckon
Oh,
gorillas. Gorillas would be good.
yeah. But, pound for pound, dung beetle.
Oh shit, yeah. Forgot about the dung beetle, yeah. They're
Yeah.
pretty strong, aren't they?
Or you could have a teeny tiny little yolk on the back of an ant. That could work.
Oh yeah. I wonder whether though that's just because they've got more legs.
Ah,
Like, do you reckon if we
maybe
had
they're
more
cheating.
legs, we'd be
Yeah.
better?
be less coordinated, that's for sure.
I would. I think I asked Andrea this question as well. It was, would you rather have more legs and more arms? But I think if you had more legs, you'd surely just be able to cover more surface area. You'd have a better base of support, and therefore surely would be able to pick up more weight.
Yeah. And you'd be able to scare everybody that's afraid of arachnids.
That's a very good point as well. I absolutely love spiders, mate. I feel like spiders get such a shit time of it, and I feel so sad for them.
Yeah. I'm very much I enjoy a spider when it's not jumping at me. If it jumps at me, that's because I fright easily. I get frightened
Yeah,
easily, so I'm like, "Oh, you bugger!" But that's not because I'm scared of it. It's just come at me like anything that comes at you.
fast,
Come at
yeah.
me with a hug, and I'm not having that. That frights me as well. So
I'm
no,
with you
thank
on
you.
that. 100% agree. For fucking sure. Yes. I was talking about this to someone the other day, and they were like, "You're just not a huggy person." I was like, "No, don't fucking
No,
touch me." I
I've
will
got
hug
a
people, but it's not my favourite thing to do.
I've got a good friend in my gym that I train with, Kelly Roberts, who's absolutely adorable. But she's such a hugger. I keep sending her like little Instagram memes of like where it's like, stop being a face bandit and trying to get up to my face and like hold me. I'm not interested. I was like, I will hide a dead body for you, but I will not hug you, you face bandit. Get away. So yeah, she loves that level of aggression that I
That
have
level of
towards her
aggression.
hugging ability. And then occasionally I'll just surprise her and give her a hug, and I'll forget who I am and just be in that persona of somebody else whilst I'm competing, and I'll give her a hug and she'll be like, oh,
Oh my god. I know.
oh.
I sometimes forget myself and give out the odd hug here and there, and then the minute I do it, I think, oh, what have I done? Oh no, I touched
Reset. I
somebody
need a
else. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Like, what do you think would be the best animal at sandbag steeplechase then?
oh. Well, it depends depends what the rules are at the rules meeting, but I think a kangaroo could be quite good
That's such a good shout. Yeah.
because it can hop down and actually it could use its pouch to pop the sandbag in, and then it hasn't got to worry. Now, depending upon whether it's got whether it can go over, if it's like a steeplechase, if it can go over the yoke with the sandbag, it's just going to hop. It can
Well,
just hop over.
that's a very good shout, because realistically, if it wasn't holding onto the sandbag, as long as the sandbag goes over the yoke, the only problem obviously would be the load at the end. But I guess what it could do is hop up onto the platform, drop the sandbag out of its pouch, and then be like,
Yes.
there you go.
Yeah. Because if it's got to reach up, it's got teeny tiny arms.
Yeah, it's not gonna work like T-Rex, isn't it? No.
Mm, like me and my teeny tiny arms. I did a sandbag over my head yesterday. It was like the sandbag like finished here, and Ash was like, "You've got to get it higher." I was like, "I've got no more arms left. I can't get it any further up." It's just it's a mask right now. That's what it is. But yeah, so me and the kangaroo wouldn't be able to.
To get it
It'd
up
have to
and
hop
over.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that. I wouldn't have even thought of kangaroo. I feel like I've just forgotten every animal that's ever existed at the moment, but I think kangaroos is such a good shout for sandbag steeplechase. What about Atlas stones? Atlas stone run specifically.
Oh,
A 5-tiered run.
I'm thinking about like what animals are good at like carrying their children on their backs and shoulders.
Mm,
One that's like quite used to that, having that child hanging around its neck, that cub or whatever it is. Maybe a
yeah.
bear. Oh no, bears haven't really got long arms, have they?
I was gonna say bear, but then my immediate thought with bear was, but the fucking tacky would rip all its hair off.
Like
Just
most of the strongmen out there.
yeah, like just giving it a wax. It'd be like a waxed bear by the end of
Yeah.
it.
Unless it's a sandbag ball and no tacky is required.
Oh yeah, well that's the way it's going now, isn't it? I've seen everyone kicking off about the
Ugh.
Atlas Stone balls, which I just think is funny though, because Atlas Stone ball, because we've been calling them ball bags, which is just hilarious. Like, the Cerberus missed a trick there, because they should have definitely called them ball bags, because more people would have bought them. But
Yes.
yeah, I don't mind the sand balls. I think
I prefer them to the rubber Atlas stones. I've
yeah,
fucked my bicep up with the rubber Atlas stone and it's still not right. So that was February and we're now in September, and it's like, what?
yeah. Fuck those
Ridiculous.
rubber balls. I hate them. Absolutely.
Yeah.
big hate. I understand why people brought them out, but too expensive, shite, no one likes them, put them in the bin. We're over that now. Use the sandballs, they're much better.
Yeah, for sure.
What
Well,
about, one more, I want one more from you. What about yoke? What would be the best animal at yoke?
I think it's got to be a critter. They're so adept at like say like an ant or a dung beetle or something that's so good at like lifting its like 70 times its body weight.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. My only other choice would be camel because it's got a perfect place to set the yoke in. And it can go, it'd have to be the two hump camel. It can go right in the middle, couldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Although they'd get a lot of swing, wouldn't it? It would be like
oh,
flapping around, and sometimes the best yolks are when someone digs in and it might be a bit of swing going on, but they're just stoically getting through it. I think the camel might do that.
yeah, it would have to like plod along, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be able to like do its big running galloping like a horse because that yoke would
Yeah,
be, it'd be off, wouldn't it? See ya.
yeah, yeah. Camels don't strike me as the kind to, get a bit of wind in their sail. They just plod.
No, I've never been a fan of camels. I've seen too many videos of them spitting, and that for me, I don't like spitting. If you're a person that spits, you're very low in my estimations. I just don't think, and
Yeah.
well, just as a person, we just don't need to spit unless you're being sick. There's no
Yeah.
reason to ever spit. So even when I
Unless
see
you're
like
trying to make way, I've heard, into a cup.
that the only other time it is acceptable to spit. You're allowed to spit after you've been sick, and you're allowed to spit when you're trying to lose weight
When you're trying-
frantically. They're the only times. Like they're the only
Oh.
times. If you're
But
just
I
doing it
see.
because you're annoyed, then nah. Or if you're doing it
Yeah.
like rugby and you're like gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But I've also realised I quite like llamas and alpacas and their spitters.
Yeah, see, Jenny Todd had sent me some videos the other day and said to get some llamas, and I was just like, spit, don't like them.
Yeah.
The
And
minute it
what they
spit at me, I'd be like, you're going in the freezer, mate. Fuck you.
it has spat. I've been spat on by a alpaca, and it is nasty. And like it could, I've just had a whiff
Gross.
of it in my memory, but it smells disgusting. It's horrible green stuff. I then had to I was like, I don't even think I'm going to wash that jumper. I'm just going to chuck it away. I don't want any evidence of it in my life
Just straight
anymore.
in the bin.
I was like, well, fucking alpaca hates me that much. It spat on me. And then my partner was like, yeah, but to be fair, if someone was coming in for a cuddle with you and you didn't want it, you'd, stop just shy of spitting. So maybe it's just, lost its.
Maybe, yeah. It's fucking done. It's like, I'm not a
It's
hugger either, bro. Leave me alone.
don't you pat my fluffy little head. I'm not interested. I was like, oh.
Class. That's so funny. I love that. Well, that's been an epic episode. Thank you so much for that, Georgia. This has been an absolute joy. So, where can people find you if they want to follow you along with your journey?
Oh, do you know what? I'm really rubbish at posting and stuff, but I do have an Instagram. It is GeoK82, GeoK82. That little gem came about because I was that old. I just decided to go, oh, Geo is like the first part of my name, and then K is like the initial of my dog, and 82 is the number of the house that I live in. That's where that come from. I was like, oh, well, so I must have been very young when I come up with that one. But yeah,
Nice.
GeoK82 on Instagram. I love the gram. I will absolutely like everything you post if you follow me, because I am that kind of creeper. I sit peeping, observing, perving in the background, but I'm a great for engagement kind of girl.
Yeah, I'm the same. I fucking love the gram, me. Fuck me. If there's, to be fair, them weight loss injections, if they can get rid off this fucking Instagram addiction, sound. Because between Instagram and nicotine, nothing really matters in my life other than them two things at the moment. So probably need some mental
I
health help.
see. I mean, don't we all? That's why we're all in Strong Woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm not sure the reach extends to the gram, because I'm still pretty obsessed, so it might not reach there just yet. But there could be advancements in the future. Who knows?
Something else
Or
happen.
the robots will just take over and we'll all become redundant anyway.
Cool. Well, if you can get a feed of Instagram straight into my eyeballs, like, I'll probably just sign up for that. I'll probably just do it. I don't give a flying fuck. I fucking love it. It's really bad. I'm ill with it, but it's fine. That's a problem for another day, that.
Yeah, we are not solving that one. Let's just swiftly move on.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's been great. And have you got any final words for anybody?
No, and I really don't want to say what just came into my head, because it was something that, like, when you said that, in my head went live long and prosper, and I was like, hold on, isn't that fucking Star Trek? I've never watched Star Trek in my life, but I know that that's what that's from. And then I was like, oh, maybe I could just like repeat something from the A-Team, and I was like, why the A-Team? My brain is just not good.
My brain is just not good. And on that note, we'll end the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you on the next one. Goodbye. Thanks for listening to this episode of Strong Woman Highs, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the podcast, then please give us a follow on Instagram. Or if you would like, we're also on buymeacoffee.com/strongwomanhighs. This is where you can send us tips, or you can also join our membership area, which is $5 a month or £4 a month. It's the silly gosling level. We'll post out any extra content that we get on there, and hopefully a few little like free giveaways of things as well. The podcast currently doesn't cost a lot to run, which is what we're trying to keep it as, but we would like to be able to cover our costs, and also once those costs are covered, any profit that is made on Strong Woman Highs will be getting saved up and put into a pot for future Strong Woman competitions that we can sponsor. So if you have a Strong Woman competition that you'd like to be sponsored, or if you want to be on the podcast, then give us a shout, send me a message on Instagram or on YouTube, anywhere else you can get us, and we'll get it sorted, because the more women that we can get on, the better. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye!